Hello guys and welcome. So in today's video I wanted to answer the question, what is Nioh? With Nioh 2 around the corner, I thought that I would delve into this game. It is a game I've finished in the past, and I thought, why not? Let's revisit the game, let me explain to you how it is and so on. So the easiest way to describe Nioh is imagine a samurai Dark Souls. Which of course you might think, Samurai Dark Souls? Sekiro. But Nioh came out first, so simple as that. So Nioh was released in February 2017. It was made by Team Ninja. It was published worldwide by Sony Interactive, and it was published in Japan by Koei Tecmo. And since then, it has had a PC release. So originally it was on PlayStation 4, but then it came out on PC. So you can get it on Steam, you can get it on PlayStation 4. Now, the game itself is based in fictionalized 1600s Japan, and you play as a character called William Adams. Now, William Adams, if you actually look him up on Google, he looks very much like Geralt of Rivia, which is ironic because we just covered that yesterday. Now, he is actually based on a real person in history. So he was a Western guy who went over to Japan, and he ended up being trained as a samurai, and he became famous for being such a good samurai. I don't know more, I'm not a historian, but that's all I heard. But the world of Nioh is completely fictional. Like, there's demons, there's magic, there's ghosts, there's vampires, there's a whole bunch of different weird and wonderful things in the game. And what you have on this little shrine behind me, these little guys are called kodamas. So the way it works in this game is you can collect the kodamas. If you collect all of them in a certain level, then you can get blessings from them, which will make you more powerful for the level. Every level you can do them as many times as you like. If you want to go back, you want to farm, and so on. Now, you have something in the game called Amrita, which is equivalent to souls. So you kill monsters, you gather Amrita, you then use them to level up. Simple as that. And along the way, while you're killing monsters or the corpses of other players or anything like that, you can then get item drops, which you then need to make yourself stronger. There are items you can use. You can throw bombs, you can heal yourself, you can slow down time, you can invigorate your weapons with an elemental boost, and so on. Now, the thing is with a game like this, Souls-type games, is that you can attack the monster, the boss, whoever, hundreds of times and they won't die. They can attack you twice and kill you. So the odds are very much stacked against you. It's down to you to actually dodge and avoid the attacks, learn the mechanics of the fight. Nearly every fight you do the first time, whoop your ass. The boss will probably kill you in the first 10 seconds. But that's just how these games are designed. But eventually, you will always be able to work out that these fights are scripted, so you can learn your way through the fights. It is actually really fun to watch live streams of games like Nioh and Sekiro and so on, especially when you have hilarious deaths. Like, I can't state how many times I've died to gravity more than anything else, not even monsters. And the levels can be designed to be really annoying. So like this level, for example, you see here, this is a sheer cliff. So the first time I came into this level, I ran off this cliff and I died. So whoops. Now you do have different styles of weapons. You can have pole arms, you can have samurai swords, you can have one-handed swords. You have the weapon I'm using now. And it's down to you on which style you go for. Also, every weapon you use, you can have different stances. So you can see right now I'm in the high stance, which is I'm holding my weapon up high because it is what works for me. But I could do medium stance, which I've selected just then, so it's a different style of attacking. Or I can even do low stance, which is, like you see, it's again different. It's about finding what works well for you. And you might switch stance through different fights depending on the situation. You might use more than one stance per the fight, and that's something that is taught to you during the tutorial mode of the game. Now, the thing is with this sort of game is that the response time on the controller is pretty much instant. There is no delay. You're not going to be suffering from animation locks and stuff like that, because you need to be able to dodge in the last second in order to survive different fights. Now, the odds will very much all the time be stacked against you, so it might be hard to defeat one monster and then they'll throw 3 of them at you at the same time, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you simply have to like get a fixed skin, or take your time, pull one back at a time if you can. You have range, you see I have a bow and arrow, and so on. And you see these swords. It's what I was saying before about fighting the corpses of other players. I'm obviously not going to do that here because simply like there's no room to maneuver. I will most likely fall off the edge if I do it. Now, what you also have in this game, you have these hot springs, you can see, which you can use to fully heal yourself. I cannot explain how relieved you might be sometimes to see these, because you might be absolutely struggling, be on your last bit of health, have no healing, have no nothing, then you find a hot spring and you're like, oh, thank God. Now, the thing again with a game like this, graphically, I think it looks good. You know, so it's not the most amazing, unbelievable graphical game ever, but it's enough. And also as well, the point of a game like this is that, oops, I nearly fell off the cliff. The point of a game like this is that the game has to run smoothly, it has to run quickly, it has to respond to your controller as quickly as possible, so to allow you to have the freedom to dodge the attacks and so on. So a game like this is 100% based on combat and your skills in combat. Like, you have to learn your way. You have to be patient. You cannot muscle in games like this. You can't force your way through bosses, through mobs. If you do, you will die. Simple as that. They will counterattack you and then they will kill you. You always, in a lot of cases, especially with some bosses, the boss might throw 10 attacks at you before you can even attack it once. You have to be patient. As simple as that. So patience is the key to get through a game like Nioh or any Souls type game. But like I said, you can learn your way through these games. So you effectively have to be patient, you have to learn your way through, but when you have mastered your way through a fight and geared yourself up and so on, it can feel very, very satisfying. And there are different ways you can approach the game as well. So you can approach it either from a point of very, very high skill. So you go in with no gear and just hope that you have enough skill, enough dodging ability, enough whatever, to be able to take down a boss which is even infinitely harder because you don't have enough power to take it down. Or you can take the easier route, which is just to farm levels over and over and over again, get as much levels, as much gear as humanly possible, and then go forward. As this was my first Souls type game, that's basically what I did. I basically farmed and farmed and farmed and farmed and farmed, but then I did eventually take down the hardest bosses in the game. So one of the bosses in the game, he's a general, and his attack power and his speed is incredible and unbelievable. But then to make it even more like brutal later on, they have another version of the fight where you fight 2 generals at the same time. They're not the same guy. They have different fighting styles, so you have to be able to dodge both while also attacking both, and they defend each other. So getting through that fight, that probably took me 10 hours plus, but then I eventually managed to get through it. So now this game, originally it was actually supposed to be a PlayStation 3 game, but unfortunately what happens with some games, it fell into development hell. So it was originally started to be created in 2004, but like I said, it didn't come out until 2017. So, but these things happen. The end result, I would say it was worth it. You know, it sold 2.5 million copies. Nioh 2 is on the way. I am looking forward to Nioh 2, and so on. Now, with a game like this, guys, like I said, you will be able to find at this point, given that the game's been out for a couple of years now, you'll be able to find speedrunners, you'll be able to find people with amazing skills who have covered the game and so on, and you'll be able to really get a glimpse of this game before you decide if you want to buy it or not. Now, I was actually tempted by this game with what they had was a last chance trial, which you can find on my YouTube channel, which I will link in the description. What the last chance trial said is that, okay, here is the first couple of bosses of the game. You have this weekend only. If you can defeat these two bosses, then you will get DLC and download items which you can never get ever again. You can't even buy them. You can only get them if you defeat the bosses during this weekend period. So I was like, ooh, that sounds like an interesting challenge. Let me try. Because I never tried something like that before, and I absolutely loved it. I really enjoyed myself for that whole weekend, and I felt very, very satisfied when I got that boss down. And then I was able to, then I just, got the game when it came out, and the rest is history, as they say. So anyway, guys, tell me, have you always been interested in Nioh? Are you looking forward to Nioh 2? I hope that I am doing an okay job, at least, to explain what these games are, where in this What Is series. So thank you for supporting it so far. I really appreciate your guys' feedback. So anyway, guys, that's it for this episode. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. You can watch a random video over there. You can watch the latest upload down there, or you can click down here to subscribe. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.